Okay, so let's get on with this. So how do you launch the server? Once the server is configured, once you download it using git command, I believe git clone recursive, you'll get this folder and then you'll extract or no, you go to releases, you don't need to compile it. You could just get the release. I just got the release because I was like, if I compile it, I'm going to create a mess on this Google Cloud server and waste money. There's a way to get free Oracle server, which I want to figure out how to do too, make this completely free. So I could set this up for maybe clients or something. Okay. So I had to use the tutorial video that's on YouTube. There's a guy and he did a really good video because he also did it how you can have these servers connect to each other without having a thing in the middle, which is nice if you're like trying to clone MySQL databases or something advanced like that. So the thing about his video is how to set up the config really was my problem. I tried to use the default config and put it on GitHub and put in settings and stuff didn't work. And so I just used the way he did it little by little. Let's look at my config. Make sure I do the right one. I believe it's this one. Yeah. It's one of these. So I think it's that one. It's the second one. So how you would run the server. Is RFPS2 with a C for the specified config. You get it up and running. And I should check if it's already running. It might be. I don't think it is. Yeah. So let's run it. And then we'll switch to the Android device. So my other Android device should connect into it momentarily. There it is. So this device is older Android, like 9. It's like an abandoned phone. And the web server is not running. And it's got a little like web server on it. Oh, it just closed everything. Wow. It's somehow like this phone really sucks. And that's the thing about this. You might have to compile your own web server and your own server to get this to be very stable and run this as a cron on Google. So I'm just going to launch the web server real quick on one device. And then we'll start setting it up on another device. So we could see that it worked. This connection is reset. It changed the page. But I'll get this web server running here momentarily. It's got like ads and all kinds of weird stuff with this web server. There's a web server that's pretty popular on the Play Store. So if I start running it, and this web server I'm connected to also to the MySQL server. Oh no, it closed too. I have to relaunch the process. Well, it doesn't say it's closed, but it's actually going to be closed if I do anything. But we'll see that it's, yeah. Let's start. It's on my local internet. Oh, is it still running? Seemed that it responded. Anyway. Let's start setting up the other Android device. So the way I did it was, I'm not going to be holding it in front of you, in front of the camera. I installed RESTdesk on it. I should have posted a link for this too. Anyway, and I can't type because the device is not rooted. So what I did to make this easier for myself, I could plug in a keyboard into it through the USB port, but I even made it easier than that. I Bluetoothed using an iPhone. You could also use an Android to emulate a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse. Usually it'll do both. And I'm typing on my iPhone XS after I Bluetooth paired it. And so we're in the RFP directory. I created this directory. So let's just view this for a second. Let's run a bunch of homework commands. And we could try to compile Yojimbo and test it out also, or test out cubes or something. Maybe I'll do cubes because I wanted to do cubes today for my RTS engine coding stuff. So let's say I did make their FRP, which I already did. So I'll just do it on screen just to do it. And it'll fail for me, but it should be fine for you. Okay, and then CD into FRP. And we have to do a little trick here. Once we download it and extract it, we have to move the binary later because it won't execute from the folder. It's a little weird. So the command is, I believe it's PKG. I just memorized it, but it's really good to write these commands down as they're doing this. And I'm also writing this down. That's why I'm making this tutorial. It really helps me get good at this because I want to be able to do this and go advanced. So PKG install FRP. It's actually a package, which is interesting because I go to the GitHub page. So yeah, it downloads the package. See that it's downloading. It gets it. So it doesn't need a lot of space. 40 megabytes is like nothing. And this device doesn't have a lot. It only has like, I want to say 3 gigs free. Or no, 32 gigs free. Like, what would happen if we run a homework command like df-h or whatever, or df/h? Yeah, so it does tell us about the file system. And it tells us 8 megabytes. Where's the big one? 1.3 gig data or something, right? Is that how much we have free? I can't see the header. It won't let me see the header. Oh no, 7.4. There's 19 gigs that we have, I believe, and this looks right. It just, or maybe, yeah, we're using 7.4 gigs and we have 12 left, I believe. At least that's what this chart says. Okay, so we've downloaded it, right? And we don't know where it is. So the command is which FRPC, because we need FRPC. We don't need the server, really. And so we write that down. Or I'm going to write down the command that I just executed. Which FRPC, then we go, then we write down we're going to write it down just because we want to kind of see where Termux is dumping its files in case we need it for some sort of other Termux hacking stuff like switching out Clang or getting Clang out and getting files out. Like it's useful to know where user bin is, because user bin is our global path, like in Windows, for this device on an emulated terminal. So it's like there's two things going on. There's like a VM, which is the terminal. The terminal isn't like root, so it doesn't take over the whole device, but it has a lot of power still. So let's do CP. We're not going to do a move because we don't want to get rid of the old file just in case we want to back it up. Because if we execute it right now, like, let me show you what happened. If we do FRPC, which is our client we need to host the server, because this is going to be a client. Permission denied, right? And then if we do sudo, it's going to fail too. I'm just going to say it ahead. Are you rooted? No binary detected. And then if you do just sudo, it'll tell you to install something, and we don't need to do that. That's the point of me kind of going through this. So, all right, so I'm going to do what needs to be done, because if you go on Google, it'll just basically tell you this. So we're going to copy data, data and slash data slash com Termux. And this is why I wrote it down. Files slash user slash bin slash FRPC. Then I'm going to put space, and then I'm going to use shift tilde, right? Okay, that didn't work. Didn't do it right. Since this is a touch screen, it's all funny. Okay, tilde was hard to do on this touch screen. Okay, and then we want to copy it into FRP slash, and then we'll give it the file name of also FRPC, right? So we're just cloning the file, copying it. So we copied. We have it in our directory. Now we can run it, but we don't have the config yet. We'll just type out a config. Okay, open it. That would be the default config it'll use. So let's just use the default name. Notice how it was Toml. Toml is their default extension they like to use, but there's no problem in using frpc.ini. That way, if you're lazy or you have like Bluetooth keyboard like this and it's really hard to type, you will not be so, whatchamacallit. So I'll hit return a few times or enter just to kind of go lower so I don't have to scroll up and down so much. And we will start setting up our config. Now I have the config already set up on the other phone. Once it like gets out of TikTok ads. Okay, so the MySQL server is now running. I don't want to confuse you by doing the other phone, but we'll mess with this configuration here in a minute too. It's also got an FTP that I want to set up. Yeah, if I start the FTP service, it gives me an ad. So the other phone, I'm just going to launch it also into it. So I can go into its terminal and copy.
What's up, Shara?
Alright, I'm inside its terminal. It's actually still running. It was somehow running the terminal program in the background without having it being in the app's foreground. It's just a weird Android thing. So we see it's here, but we just need to copy its config, which I'll just do here in a minute. Alright, let's just refresh this, just so I can prove that it works. Nope, it still doesn't work for some reason. Maybe it didn't launch into a web server. A web server is doing this fun thing with me. But it was running for quite a while. But we see that the server is working, and the client is the web server. So I should draw a diagram, but I could real quick. So the server, the Google server, your cloud server, the one that has an actual IP, will not be hosting the services. And that's the whole point. You don't want to pay Google all these fines. You just want to pay for having it and just pay for the CPU usage of forwarding the traffic. So this is how it looks. No. How do we draw boxes? Okay. So it'll be a main server. This will be main. For me, it's G-Cloud. Wow, my computer's doing really funky things today. But whatever. It usually does this when you have it on for a little while. Then you reboot it and everything goes. Main, G-Cloud, compute, public, right? right? And then now we'll draw. Here's my Android phone. With 5G that we're setting up. There's another Android phone that I'm kind of testing right here that doesn't have 5G, it's just on the Wi-Fi, but it's still behind a NAT. And I'm not forwarding any ports through the router. Notice that. That's the lowest I can go. Okay. And then we'll just change the color so we can see it still. And then we'll just draw a line. Right? I don't know, yellow for connectivity, that there's electrons being sent. So really, my computer is not even on this phone's Wi-Fi or anything. It is, let's say my computer is like here. A little smiley face. So that's, let's do it like that, right? We need this to work. Here, I'll zoom in on that, just to not make it obvious. Okay. This still won't work, right? Some sort of unknown issues. Yeah, I would just need to relaunch this or something. And yeah, it's relaunching. It probably crashed or something. That's okay. This phone's a little more sturdy. And what happened here? It disappeared. Battery optimization detected. I'm still suffering from the other phone not launching. Wow. Instead of explaining what the hell's happening here. Oh, it looks so bad like that. They should have posted up, but whatever. Let's type in our config in. Since it's being difficult, I'll just kill this. Control C. Okay, I broke out of it. Alright. I have the config in front of me. And you will have to set your own auth token, which is your password. And so nano FRPC.ini server I don't know why they capitalized A. Oh my. Server address. Your cloud server's public IP address. Give me the server address. Server port capitalized. Again, just didn't get a headache, but I guess there's some point to it when you're not typing on touchscreen USB keywords. I mean, Bluetooth. And then the auth token configuration will be pretty quick. I could also reboot my server and see how I did the UDP, but it's pretty straightforward. I could just guess. So auth will be dot token. You put in your server password that you put on the server. I should show the server config for a second. It's just basically the auth token. That's all the server config is. So then, what were we running? PRS2. Yeah, so we need a bind port on the server. Bind port equals 7,000, for example, or an auth token, and you enclose your password. I will rerun this again. And we could also set security so nobody else can log in besides some IPs. But since the IPs are dynamic, it's a little hard. You might need to write like a script for your own local IP checker and then ping a server that will like update your config. It's possible to do that.
Is it over? Did we win? They don't like the super shotgun. The original shotgun is basically the pistol. Now, before we go down,
This will automatically reconnect it if it disconnects, if there's like little interference. Then we do bracket proxies. Then there's something like interfering because that's happening. I'm guessing the Bluetooth is having like issues and just sending garbage. If there's some network interference or radio waves. Oh wow, it did all this. It really screwed me up. Okay. Yeah, sometimes doing this can be like extremely. Oh. Oh wow, that just set me back a lot. All right, so the proxy, it's square bracket proxies. And every time you write one of these, it's like a separate port open. This name will be game server 1. So name is going to be, sometimes you could put HTTP proxy. It's technically a proxy or a port forward or whatever you like to think of it. There could be a technical term here. Forward port, forwarder. We'll put game 1 proxy, if the keyboard doesn't screw up. Then we'll put type TCP for HTTP and all that stuff will work too. And check the config for HTTPS if there's anything special that needs to be done. But I believe it'll just work through TCP. So that's how you would do it. You do type equals TCP in quotes. We'll do UDP just to prove that UDP will also work, because UDP is more hardcore and it's used by like Counter-Strike game servers, a bunch of game servers. You could even try to do peer-to-peer LAN, I believe. If you really want to go hardcore and set up your own LAN VPN through this, it's possible, I think. That would be interesting to do. Now we have to use 80, 80, 81, 82. You know that that's open. So let's do 80, 90. You will have to forward your ports on Google server too, or whatever cloud you're using in their VPC section or endpoint section on AWS. I don't know what it is on Oracle. So that will kind of match the ports. All right, so this is going to be, we could add more proxies tags, and that will open more ports. But we're just going to do one port just to test it. So Control X, and then we hit, once it pops up, you want to save the buffer, Y, and then return enter. All right, let's do ls. Okay, we made our config. We can cat it just to see what's inside, but I'm pretty confident it's right. I'm actually not because of the way it's been acting, but we'll just run it. Okay, so we connected, right? We run /FRPC, which is our client, forwards the port, connects into it, and then whatever traffic that gets, it'll send it back into this phone. But I don't know how you run another terminal on the phone. Let's see. Termux, open tab, open new tab, new session. While dedicated tab keys not supported, you can customize keyboard. Yeah, I haven't thought about this yet, actually.
Missed the bounce a little bit, and because my back really after so many years. The fact that my firmware is not showing my devices, or that my router is not showing my devices, is concerning.
Select new session and option drawer. Okay, so one way we could confirm that this port is open, and it was 8090 that we opened. It's Google port scanner. I don't know. Let's try advancedportscanner.com.
See, I had mine for so long. That's the problem.
tool.
That too.
This would be good to have, the Nmap.
Less than a year, yeah. It was great for me the first couple of years. I fucking loved it.
Let's get this advanced. No, they're serving ads for the wrong reason here. I'm not gonna pay them. Okay, domain. Okay, so it wants to do a VoIP config.
Lush. Interesting. Where are these damn wolf statues?
That's all this timed out. Let's do a port scan on.
Oh shit.
We're doing it on 80, and 8090. Now this is my personal, so it shouldn't work. Yeah, good. I don't know what this address is,
Don't say that shit.
honestly. We can ping it just to see if it pings, whatever this is. Just want to know. Oh, so it should be me, because it's like nothing. I guess that's localhost or something. I don't know. What is that? Oh, so it is me or something like that. Alright. So let's do the thing where we have our server, which is 35 dot. Oops. Copy paste it. Alright, so we see it's up. Oh no, wait. It's not up. Why is it down? Is this a TCP port or what? Should be up.
What size is the mattress? I got a queen.
Alright, I connected on the server. Check it again. Open. Yeah, so we see that it opens when I did the other phone that we don't see on the remote desktop. This one is a UDP server, so let's try this. Check UDP port open. Okay, it's a different tool.
Well, yeah. Good size.
IP address. Do this. opened or filtered result. What if we did something that's not open?
Nice. So, just my personal views.
Okay. I just need to do something real quick.
Oh shit, I just dropped myself in the comment zone. Oh, it's this spot again.
Okay. Okay, well, cleared up. Can't get in there. I'm hitting the wrong fucking buttons. Wait, I thought I cleared that already. That's so low. Okay, just need to do something else.
do it because I never pulled the switch. Yeah, but what about the dogs? The wolves? I'm telling you, they gotta be close to it.
Just have to like do a few things. Oh, the login doesn't match. I wonder what happened. Okay. So we see our game proxy here.
Very possible they're up there where the switch is.
The hard part is I think I have to go on the phone and actually just do something. No, I can't do it that way. I have to read. Termux open tab. Control shortcut session. How do we modify the Termux? To access it, swipe the left edge of the screen. Swipe the left edge of the screen to open drawer hit new session. Oh, okay. Left edge.
What is happening?
I think I could have done that remotely if I used a different program that had a mouse also with Bluetooth, but I just did it manually, whatever. So we're inside another terminal. We're still running. All right. Yeah, we see that FRPC is running. ncat must be nmap, ncat. Oh, so ncat is nmap. Okay. What is command and Linux for open UDP ports?
Who's doing that?
Yeah, that's that. Nmap for viewing information Linux. Nmap is the Unix command line utility used for network exploration, Unix security auditing, provides live hosts, open ports, operating systems, more. Provide information you will typically run by scanning specific port or ranges.
Oh, I died real fast.
Yeah, so Nmap is also a nice tool for this. So let's see if we...
Yeah, well, tomorrow, the next day I'm off. So I figured we're going to handle all that stuff. Although I'm probably
Alright,
nearly done here.
so there's
I'm
no
not sure.
netstat stuff. Maybe there really should be. Should be connected to quite a range of things. So what if we ran what they said? Net stat minus sign tuple or something? What did he say?
Rock job.
TULN. That's that. No support for AFT, INET, TCP on the system. So I'm guessing I do have to install ncat. That would be a nice command to write down right now. pkg install nmap. See how big it is. Ncat pkg install and mappa and kata. Alright, let's see how big it is. Should be small. Yeah. So less than 2 megabytes. Yes. I'm always worried about the size because I know this device later will be landfill hoarded by me. So let's run the command. I'll write it down. Okay, so we need to do nmap dash p hyphen minus sign, whatever you want to call it. Port number 8090 that we set up. Target. Oh. Protocol target. Oh, so we would do nmap hyphen p and then u colon 8090. Not v. I wrote it down like an SV. Okay. Let's try that. Nmap. And it might not run because of that whole permission thing. We have to copy it over also. I'm just already predicting the future because I love it that when things don't work so much that I start predicting them in the future. Uh-oh.
Don't see a dog statue here.
Program is not installed in app. Oh, so what we installed is ncat. right? Yeah, I wonder what MCAT does.
Man, I mean, what's up?
Yeah, we'll install Nmap here in a second. What does NCAT do? NCAT is a command line tool for reading, writing, redirecting, and encrypting data across the network. It's a modern, improved version of NetCat designed for various network-related content, including security testing, administration, and can be used during activities, backend, and other tools, and can offer supervisory features and personal network communication. Can't we just use NCAT then to do what we just did and forward the traffic that way? Maybe. I gotta watch some videos then about that, but whatever. Just install Nmap. I mean, yeah. Whoops. And it's also doing this really funny thing where it's typing things on its own because of Bluetooth. So how big is Nmap? NCAT was, okay. So it's a little bigger, 27 megabytes. We see the value here. Hopefully it's successful. Getting the Debian archive. Okay. So it should have been successful. Oh, that was hard to type. Hitting backspace here is really dangerous. Hmm. So I'm guessing I have to do hyphen or dash S U the IP address. I don't know what my IP address on this is, and I don't think it tells me automatically. Like if I do IP ADDR, it'll tell me to install some crap, and it won't do anything. Oh no, the recite. Yeah, I knew that might happen. If I do IP ADDR, okay, that's stupid. Why did it do that? Oh wow, it's really bugging out. Oh, look at all that cool stuff we can install. It's bugging out. Okay, permission denied. Yeah, so we can still get the network settings by going to what's IP.com and a few other ways. I don't know if there's some ways to do that. No CPU binary detected. Huh. So we have IP. No, it's there. Alright. Let's make our server then. Let's run GCC. Okay, so in order to install GCC, we gotta do command install compiler. Will be the note. Command pkg install clang C language. And we might need C++, so let's just type in G++ for a second here. Plus. Okay. Install clang. So it'll both get us G++ and C. I don't know about an assembler. Should be nice. I think we could like hijack the system with assembler. Oh, we can't install PKG. That doesn't make any sense. I tried it anyway though. I just like trying things that break things. Alright, so in order to do this, we need to like allocate a shit ton of memory. Yes. Yeah, so that takes a lot from us. That takes half a gig. 600 megabytes to be more precise. On certain phones that wouldn't work because they would be like out of space because they have a few apps installed. With these cheap phones, they have good processors. Like this phone has an 8-core. It's a pretty good processor, but not a lot of storage. Kind of a waste. Like you can't install Call of Duty on this thing. You'll just waste all your storage and garbage. So I'm keeping this phone very minimal. But at the same time, I want to set up something that's productive. I can install a bunch of cool tools like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth keyboards on it, but it'll take up all the space. Like just Termux alone is a monster, but it's like the most required. Alright, so it's getting LLVM, NDK system root. I wonder what that does. Getting Clang, got LLVM, LLD, the linker, lib LLVM, ZSTD, compression library from Facebook, libxml, XML parser, lib whatever, and libcom, Hyler RT. Alright, I should go and get my server thing. Do we have Git installed? Git collab, bro, and Git is installed out of the box. Alright, the next command would be git clone resources, not resources, recursive. https //github.com, and I have to check the rest. I didn't really memorize it. I'll write this down too, just because I want to remember that I did this. Like, you forget what you did on your phone. It's hard to check inside a freaking cave of a terminal. Okay. I want to try today. Alright, I don't know if I tried this one. I know I made my own and it worked. But I want to try the cubes one. Try this one too. There's DDoS, there's EDP. It's virtual Go, a simulation of Go board and stones. I want to try cubes. cubes as a no readme file thing as pre-make. Damn it. Alright. Let's just write that down. And what we shall do is type pre-make first. Damn it. I have to go back. Okay, I'll retype this, but it's annoying. I have to figure out how to install pre-make. No pre-make found. Did you mean command mb make? No. It's confusing as it's convoluting. Pre-make on Termux. The next Google will be pre-make on Linux. Yeah. Install pre-make. Open Termux. App update. App install pre-make.
And the wrong turn in Albuquerque.
We could manually build it too. It wouldn't be too much notes though, because these two libraries, shaders are not really. This is going to be the problem. Vectorial. Let's look at the server. So we really need to run the server to prove our concept here. Yeah, network packets protocol shared in world. How does the client look like? And the client should have graphics and shaders, and we need to compile it here. Physics ODE. Yeah, I think this uses physics engine, doesn't it? Yeah, ODE. There's some fluctuation on the Linux box. Instead of measuring minimum, it doesn't average calculate one to standard variations of blurry.
I'm trying to block it and I hit the fucking.
Interesting notes. Okay, what else? The server again. Shared. So it'll include shared. And in shared, are we going to have the physics const? What about physics? Physics vectorial. Servers should be doing all the physics, right? Yeah, shared world, network, world, packets, protocol. So will world include ODE? Cubes, entity, and platform. So I believe when physics is include physics.h, it composes also of physics OED, which is the free engine. This uses 0.11 something, I believe. And there's an include. Ooh, where is the include? Because this has cubes old, and I was looking at cubes old earlier.
try to do this one, it's network, right? Where was it? Maybe it was on the web archives. Oh, here it is. It's in resources. So we may need this. Okay, so he compiled it on Mac OS or Mac OS X. Mac OS X. This has an S right, X right there. So Mac OS and Mac OS X are two different operating systems, but it should be still Linux based, or Unix, sorry. Alright, so we need to download that. I believe we need it, but I'm not sure. Alright, so is this the regular? No, this is not the regular. This is the regular, right? No. This is the regular. Because once he includes the physics, everything breaks. We could try this, but we're going to need ODE.h and make sure it's the same version, which it might not be. So we could always go and dig through all these OEDs and just extract this to source somewhere. I kind of wanted to look into this engine. Lumberyard got thrown by Amazon for this engine, so I'm guessing it's a good engine. We still need Linux manually install pre-make. We need at least pre-make 4. We could work with 5. I think 5 will work. Okay, pre-make 5 Linux tar export path download. Let's go take a look at the download page, see what we can do. We need a ARM distribution of this. I can't be here all night going on the other computer just to compile this in Android Studio or something. Well, you can use the command prompt to compile it with NDK, but I'm not going to install the NDK on the phone and do it on there tonight. I could, but I would use the other phone that has more storage. I'm pretty sure you gotta have a lot of storage when you're installing an NDK, just in case for everything else you're gonna do on there. You're not gonna delete that, or you can. You could compile it and then just wipe the NDK. It's like a mission in itself. It's already a mission to do this. I could just do the server I already did on the Ubuntu computer, and I think we might have to go with that. Let's look at this. This is a fucking fuck. And we just need this for the physics. Like, the server doesn't need the UI. The server should be headless, but we'll find out if it is. Alright, that's the physics library. Inside this library there should be an ODE file. ODE.h. Oh, there's a C++. Where's the .h file? I'm just making sure that they match. Linux, macOS, source. There's no Android for pre-make? I guess we're fucked. Arch Linux ARM. Pre-make Android. I guess there's a separate GitHub for it. This repository is archived by June 1, 2019. Read only. Uh-oh. What's that mean? Okay. This looks like a bunch of shit. Visual Studio support through VS Android. Gmake support. Pre-make extension for Android NDK projects. Oh, this is not the right thing. Pre-make Arch Linux ARM. ARch64 package pre-make. This looks a little promising, but it's still very vague. Arch Linux ARM. No, it won't work because it's a different operating builder, everything. ARM. Oh, look at pre-make core. What's the deal here? So if we were just to extract this, yeah, that's a lot of work. Oh, this could be done on WinMG. Cool. It doesn't help us though. Alright, so we know pre-make's not really a good option here. Yeah, so this is me coming off the other phone, and it's running that web Apache server. So it is possible to host your server on that Linux. And it should be. Did I install queued FTP? I forgot to write down my password. Well, I didn't forget, but it was queued FTP. Oh yeah, sure. Why does this program suck so bad? Oh yeah, we're not running this yet. It's running HTTP server, but not SQL. Let's try again. Yeah, so it is possible to run a lamp behind a firewall on a cell phone server. On the cell phone server. On the cell phone. But it's very, very annoying. I don't know. I'm just setting something up. See if I can use this. You can also run TensorFlow Lite ML and have it host like bots. Kind of like I was trying to do with Raspberry Pi. I don't know, maybe that should be IP6, but we'll just say whatever. Port should be open too for something. It should be for that server. Alright, let's reboot this other computer too. Let's see if it was on, I think it was on my Linux system. I have the source code. I might have the source code somewhere else too. Oh, this is the client. Okay, so this is the client. But why didn't I include the server code? Let's do that. So this is basically what I simulated last time. I just need to hit the power button on my Linux server, rerun it, change a few things. You can see this in action. This is what it did. It would send UDP packets through the cell phone. The cell phone would give tethered internet into the Ubuntu server, and the Ubuntu server would host the server. So that's like double tunneling. Because, well, it's actually using a single tunnel to go through that, but the tether off the phone is also creating a connection. Right now it's not running, so it'll send it, but the server's not running, so it doesn't really see it. But we can actually see the activity on the FRP. Yes. Alright, so let's do everything by the Wikipedia. Linux underscore server project 1.text. Now we could rewrite this program and think in Windows too and host it as Windows server and use the same tricks. But right now what we need to do is boot it because it had a kernel panic.
Okay. Looking for wolves.
Just rebooting and I'll get the file. Shouldn't take it too long. Those are spinning up. With tape sounds because I taped the fan on there. I really need to fix that. But the temperature seems to be okay. Let's see, I think sometimes it tells me the temperature when I log into this thing. What is it right now? Ah, shit. 60 degrees. Not good. Alright. 5 updates can be applied immediately. Run sudo apples upgradable. That's actually a good thing, I think. Anna server. Was the server on this? Because we could do the Ujimbo server, but I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. Made a client, made a server. Where was this server? I think it was inside Ujimbo? No? Fuck. Yeah, I should have wrote some of this down. I probably did. I just don't have time. Yeah, so Premake will install on Linux. So I was able to compile Ujimbo. And it's like I have FRP inside the bin folder of Ujimbo because I wanted to like save myself from typing, and I was like, oh well, they're just going to be associated with each other. I'm going to go into these folders anyway, and then yeah, it's organizational skills went bad, which I should just like take the time to reorganize everything. But I'm just going inside the other computer to see what the source code is. It might be still open somewhere on my desktop, actually. I think in Notepad++, but it would be like faster to find it this way than doing that, I think. It's not here. Oh shit. Where is it then? Maybe on desktop? Fuck. This computer is a server, headless, so it doesn't really have like a GUI desktop, but I made the folder desktop because I was just like, oh, maybe it will have this folder then. And it doesn't have shit in it. Damn it. Where is it then? Where did I run it? I ran it on this computer for sure. It could be the Anna server. Anna stands for... gonna have to launch it, but it'd be easier to just see if I can do this. I have to type it out. I should just install terminal on that. I don't like doing it this way. It's so inefficient. Well, it'll get me into the practice of network Linux programming or something. But it's like Linux programming, Unix programming for the Mac OS core of Unix. And I did put the word core in there because it's a part of its name from Mac OS X, the word core. Checking if the buffer size matches, yeah. So this is the Windows server, and this is the Linux server. So we're gonna have to like retype all this again, twice. This is the easy part. And we're gonna be using port 8090 instead. So I'm gonna have to change the other program real quick, because it's a different port for this. But I already did this, and I confirmed that it worked. You just have to like trust me on Ubuntu 2004 or 20.04. But I didn't have like a full-fledged like interesting game server, just like a ping back and forth or hello or. But I don't see why the other thing wouldn't work either. And it would be interesting to get something more complex, because if there's issues, then you'd like be like, oh, I'm coding this like relay or our FRP, and then add a relay server on top of it too, and add HTTP, TCP chat, all that fun stuff too. Just like hours of just code, but it's worth it in the long run. Create UDP, suck it. Make sure I didn't misspell anything here. Actually, it wouldn't matter here, but. And I should get my little Raspberry Pi to run. It'd be so much easier to use that for this, like little testing, than the cell phone, since it has this like keyboard issue thing. Which I can plug in a keyboard to it, or have ADB. That's an interesting thing. Maybe I do have ADB and I could type into it. It's going to be after I do this, I guess. Yeah, this takes a little patience right here to do this, like this. Try to clean it up. So the listening on port defense ID. What's the defense ID thing mean? Oh, it means that it'll format the string as a decimal integer. Not a decimal, sorry. An integer, but sometimes it's I. I believe the D stands for unsigned or something. I forget, but it's basically There was %sign I believe, too, at some point. I don't know what happened to that. Usually people use D, though, when they're printing F formatting integers. I mean, %sign S is obviously a string, and %sign float is a float, and you could add, like, numbers into it. Format it even further for float. There's a little bit different rules for the types. And there might be ways to mess things up, like getting a pointer address, null terminator, passing it in. That's the first one. The other ones is like, you can mix types. It's going to read one for like %sign X, just print it in text. It's really useful for pointers and stuff, or for formatting. The next part is funny. Passing a struct. A long one. And it kind of knows in Visual Studio that I'm actually typing in code. I'm not typing text file. It's trying to help me, I could tell. And it's actually doing a better job than it usually does with the C or C++ file, because it's not interfering as much. Alright. This is a really simple program. It opens a socket. You can't even say it opened a connection, because it literally is what they call connectionless or boundless. There's no bind here. Or is there a bind? Or maybe there's a bind on the other one. Does this do a bind? I don't think it does. I have a server for the game, so I would have to modify this one for this game server I have. I kind of conjured up. Where is it? Should be the GUI project. I could load it up while I'm busy typing this, just for fun. It'll take it a minute anyway. It's got like all these projects: DirectX 9, 11, 10, Vulkan, 3 different versions of OpenGL for 3 different APIs. I just started like coding a bunch in there, just to learn GUI in all kinds of different ways. Oh, I'm guessing it's already loaded. That's usually what that error means. Where though? Oh, over here. Whoops. Die. Go away. Please. Okay. Please subscribe. It's like, okay. Cool. What's one of these? There's a headless server. There's this guy. And all it does is just send some cube coordinates, and it kind of rewrote it to use, doesn't use different thread now. No, it uses a physics thread, yeah. So this would ultimately need to be translated into Unix or Linux style. This is the Bender curve in DirectX 9. It's a pretty cool one. It has 2 different things. Oh well. Okay. OpenGL3. GLSW OpenGL3. Yeah, so it has this also code that, what does it do? It will create a null pointer to the GDP client, and then it will run this mesh 7 thing on it. This is one of my computer names. Make an UDP client. For some reason I remember this, where I was making a thread. Yeah, it does a registration. So that's how it knows that it connected. So we can actually run the client first and then the server, and then tell it to connect. So that's a little viewport. That's a little like RTS pretend. And then we go into our server. Sometimes I keep the projects separate because that way I can debug the server and the client, and I did that before in a video. And then I just completely wrote crazy ass code based on AI. Okay, so physics thread started. So this is the server doing the physics. And then we connect the server. I don't know if this worked before. Alright, so we see the client connected. Sent rotation. So yeah, he's sending the rotation. It's really simple, but it was just to kind of see, and this is what the client is receiving. Just to kind of have a master server, and then later more logic can be just keep piling this up. And it's kind of slow. And it's kind of good like this for now. But later on, I would like to implement what the cube example stuff does. Oh yeah, okay, that closes. So let's say the server's running, we see failed. And then he could like get logic and disconnect that client. Like that would be like the next step of the server code. It's kind of good way to build it ground up. And also put it into Linux slowly. You gotta do the threading and all this. So I just gonna reconnect with a different client. And we see that it's still working. And we keep sending register over, which will like cause the server to think you registered twice. But it's not really a problem. You hit connect the server again, it doesn't really do anything. Register does though. You see it sending over like, so the client does send stuff in this actually. Okay. Enough about this rant. We need to get to the good stuff. Typing. Alright, we left off. So this is the part where the server starts to listen. The thing that we just saw was Windows on Windows. We want not just Windows client connecting into Linux. We want also Windows client connecting into Linux ARM. Oh, I want to say 64 Android. And it is also possible for it to be 32-bit on Raspberry Pi or Android. So there's different build architectures and OS API stuff that'll probably be interestingly wrong as we attempt to do this.
Super shotgun. Ooh, we got the nightmare skin for it.
This is just like the fun stuff here.
Got a sword.
There's no like super complexity. Alright, so that will be receiving stuff from client. It'll be waiting. Oh wait, did I type in this twice? Yes, I did. Oops.
Hilarious.
So while one... Alright, we could have typed something else here. While one inside this loop.
Shit. Shit. Shara.
If... What did I do here? Whoops.
Well, we need chakra.
Yeah. And it receives something. Once it receives something. And what it'll do, actually, which is not stated here, it will do a... kind of like a different thread. It's called selecting. Or select. There's this thing called select function. It's very interesting. It basically subthreads all the connections between the clients. But I would leave it up to like go on the internet and read about it because I forget all the micro details. And there's a way you could set up the server so every client has their own thread. Then there's a way you could just use select and just send all the crap back and forth. But then it's hard to filter what's really going on. Which one requires more CPU? The thread one. Then why would I just not use select? Because you just let hackers reign supreme. And some other stuff. Is it possible to have hackers not hack it with select and still keep all the benefits? Maybe. But you have to like make this like choice really early on in your net code and physics code. And that's the problem. It's like the next example I want to look at is bullet physics server client. And maybe try that out tomorrow with your Jimbo and this and a few other things. If I remember all this by tomorrow, I'm going to be so tired. That, let's actually hurry up and do this. Okay, are we still inside while loop? Yeah, we're still inside while loop. So while we're doing this, we receive stuff. We make sure we will terminate it so when we put it to the screen, we don't put it in garbage and piss off our terminal and crash it or whatever that can happen, bad things. Okay, send. Now we need to respond to what we send. Responses. It's written in blue, so it's like highlighting it in nano Ubuntu, so I can't read certain things that easily. But it's okay. So there's send to and receive to. Receive from. And then there's also another one where it doesn't specify the socket. Let me see. Let's go back to our little example that we messed around with. And this one uses send to.
Is that the blue milk from Star Wars?
Let's look at an older version. I think it was version
So I maxed out my shield and now they're giving it another upgrade.
2. Oh, I wish I remembered when I did all this. It was so interesting. Receive from socket. Send to. What was the prompt though? This uses bind. Receive from socket. Send to socket, right? Yeah, there's also this thing called receive and send. Send with socket and receive with socket. So this is important, even for me to just kind of go over for myself. Oh yeah, I was doing this. I need to fix this really bad, because then if I get the open core Mac running next to me, it'll really help the development of this. I'll have like a UI based, keyboard based, same way of doing this. Alright. Send versus send to. Let's just go read Stack Overflow. Really trying to implement an UDP network between a server and client, but too many implementations either use send or send to. I tried looking at the man pages, but I didn't really understand the difference between send to. So it takes more arguments, which is rather useless compared to send, which you can bring in clarity to this matter. Happy to hear. Yeah, so this is a confusing thing too, even for somebody that's like done this a few times. The send to function is one of the mainly used in UDP sockets. Yeah, UDP is connectionless. The function allows you to specify IP address and port of each outgoing packet sent to. You can, however, use send if you first use connect. The connect function can be used to specify the destination IP of all. So it's kind of like hard to understand, because the thing you're understanding is happening before you call this function. In general, I would recommend sticking to send to. The connect function can be used to specify the destination port and for an IP address for all sent using send. It also restricts the packets you receive from the IP port. The connection can also be used multiple times to change the asserted IP address and port, or to remove the shit connection. So there is some advantages to that. So you had two UDP servers and you need to kind of like jump between them. The send-to function is one general use for UDP sockets. It is connectionless. The function allows you to specify IP and report the outgoing packet sent to. So for send-to, you could just send to different IP port addresses. You basically specify what's in connect inside of send-to. But note that it won't give you a different socket like send will, I believe, or something like that. Or like connect return to a socket or something like that. So it's a little. And then we have also, I think I talked about, select. Alright. Select function. Select, deselect. File descriptor clear. File descriptor is set. Okay, so that has to do with synchronous I/O multiplexing or something. Description. Warning. Select can monitor only file descriptor members that are less than FD size. So yeah, you have to map through 1024. It allows you to map multiple file descriptors, which is like sockets or something. And this is all the file descriptor jargon on the man page. Multi-threaded applications. Your file descriptor is being monitored by select and is closed in another thread. The result is unspecified. Oh, that's good. Okay, let's go read about it right here. Select function allows you to implement an event-driven design pattern when you have to deal with multiple event sources. So, let's see. Yeah, this guy explains it, I think. What was the other page? It wasn't this one, but this one's also kind of important. Select function. Oh. This was interesting. What the hell are they trying to do here? They're trying to like... I like to just test this just for fun. Interesting. Yeah, I have to read a little more through, a little more networking stuff. But with some of the basics, you don't really need to be like a hardcore Cisco and network card expert person. Even though I tried to do that with Raspberry Pi and I lost that device. It's like a little magnetron thing, or the little Cat 5 port. It'd be nice to be able to install that and know a little bit more about the driver. I should just look up the product and the chip and just read about it. It just like drives my interest not having it. Something I had got lost. Alright, that looked like I typed in right from the wrong line. Bytes sent equals send to file descriptor, socket file descriptor, buffer, bytes received. Sorry. This was supposed to be bytes received, not buffer size. That would have been a big no-no. 0, socket address, pointer with a struct to the reference of the client address, and the reference is the client length, and put it in there. Okay. I'll just cheat here. Okay, let's sped up my typing a little bit. And at the end of everything, just return 0. Alright, so this is our little program. Pretty basic. It just sends to everybody. It just sends the client back what it got sent. The client sent it, it'll send it back. So we can confirm that it works. Now what we need to do is like type it up again. But it's okay. First we should set up an environment a little bit, clean things up. I'm going to try to host the server on cellphone. Alright, time for touch screen typing. Marathon. Okay, GCC installed. GCC. No input files. Okay. Let's create an input file. We need call this. It's called meta server on the other one. Just write that note down in there, but we won't copy that. Meta server project 1.
Right out early, tired, and got a lot of stuff to work on.
Now,
I'm getting right out. I will be on Discord tomorrow night, the next night, and we'll be back to stream on Friday.
gotta include stdio.
So, you guys all rock.
I-
Thank you for hanging out.
I wish.
I'm not sure if it's gonna be on Discord. I'll probably just save it for stream. When we're done with doing, I'll go back to Unreal. Good night, Inspirit. If I buried one extra heat, that would be good. We don't have to individually add each one. Like for the chance of things. There's one. I guess that with the Twitch alerts back on. Then it runs again. Really?
Hi, I'm checking in. Oh my gosh, I'm a huge fan. Oh, thank you. I love Skinny Pop. Anyway, what's your name? Jennifer. Aniston. Skinny Pop. Popular for a reason.
It's gonna take a little while even to get through the includes here.
No slicing or dicing will play. Snacking made easy. Domino's new Parmesan stuffed crust
I
pizza
wonder if there's a way to copy paste.
because Domino's has never had stuffed crust before. Seriously.
How did I do before?
So get any medium two-topping Parmesan stuffed crust
Oh,
pizza
I was able to run the other one. Makes me really want to run the other one and just copy paste all this in. This app is so stupid. Yeah, I do have the other one. Let me speed this up a little bit. We'll just... We will put it on the public page. We will name it what it was. No, we will name it. Meta server.c. All right.
So check the FPS in the stream now. It's getting as high as 50. Still, this book's on this way.
Alright, so I'm just pulling this off of GitHub. Let's, oops, close something non-deliberately. Alright, I guess I have to like procedurally do stuff. I'm messing up here because it's kind of weird when you like Bluetooth into something. It doesn't want to copy everything. It's okay. So, see how much this works. I switched the software I'm using. Does this work? What happened? Control doesn't work. Why doesn't control work? I think it disconnected. That's the problem.
So I could use copy paste on iPhone in order to achieve this inside the other BLF app or something. Oh, I didn't think I was going to type that. All right, let's see if I typed everything right, because this highlights it. It's going to mess up at the end a little bit, but that's fine. It's just not going to do the return. I'll just type that up. We'll find out when we try to compile it. I don't remember what the compile command is, but it's not that hard.
I have to reset those. I don't even have to load set. I forgot to set those up. I have to put everything in the LBS. Fine. I'll set up alerts. Save yourself the trouble on the alerts side.
Alright, so we got that typed out. That went a little quicker. Watch ad, remove ad, subscribe, restore purchases. Okay, after the if, we have to do another special character thing. That, return 0. Then we need to close brackets and hope this works. Yes. Now we have to compile it. GCC -o -no. If I do this. Meta. I'm just going to do it like I did it before. This just means that it was generated by Meta AI to help me out, so I wouldn't have to do a lot of the grunt work in the beginning. But now I need to type in Linux. There's still a lot of grunt work. This ends up being like nightmarish in the beginning. I don't know. It's like when you're trying to like save a lot of time, and you've done this before, and you're just like doing it again. It just seems like so terrible. But it needs to be done if you like want to really get this to work. That's the problem. But it's kind of fun, like once you get to a certain point. But that's the problem. Sometimes you have to like redo a lot of things so many times. Alright, so I misspelled made a server, but we're just gonna hit enter. Just hope that works. Okay, we have some sort of errors. Oh no. I forgot a comma. Did we really forget a comma? We have to fix the code here. We don't really need to, but the comma was forgotten here? No. Here, yeah. That's where we need to go. Alright. Let's do that. Arrow up, enter. Somewhere, go to the arrows thing. I believe it was on this line. It's funny scrolling like this because it's not showing the full screen.
They have a small cell phone screen. Yep, it's right here. Have to be like ancient ages Doom Trooper or something to do this. Control X, Y. It's like a really hard video game. Even harder than video games because of the stupidity. Alright, we'll highlight C file into a C file because it's really hard to type this. Okay, we have 3 more errors. Alright, something on line 30 is misspelled. There's no fucking shit here. Semicolon. Is there? Fuck. My bad. Yeah, that's the thing about typing this out. What's the other error? Oh, let's go fix one error at a time because that way we know we didn't mess anything else up, but it would be nice to fix them all at once. Why did it do this stupid thing?
That's 155 for the night.
How? I paid 250. Trivago. What if I always use my loyalty rate? It's on Trivago. Well, I always book directly with the hotel. That's on there too.
Trivago compares hotel prices from hundreds of sites, so you can save up to 40%.
I thought I got the best price on my favorite site.
Do I really have to say it again?
Hotel? Trivago.
The fact that this Reese's ad showed up at this exact moment proves that your devices are listening. It also said, dry caramel mid-cup.
Here we have to also see why client address is capitalized. This should not be capitalized. I don't know why I did this. We'll, like, fix that. Maybe we'll fix 2 errors in this. We got 1 more error left after this. Ha. Okay. Okay. We got the E on line. Where? It's showing me some stupid stuff. Oh, line 41, sorry. What do we forget? It says incompatible integer Stockland. Oh, so this does not have an N% sign because it's passing back client length, whatever client length was. so it compiled into the wrong file type of name, but still a binary. It'll run as a .c file. Should have did that properly, but whatever. Just pretend there's no .c on that. And then, do we have the port right? No. I mean, yes. Sorry. I'm like arguing with myself here. Okay, return. Okay, so we're listening on port 8090 on the cell phone. We've compiled the C program that's on a Android Stratus C8. It is an ARM-based 64, which I don't know if anybody cares about that detail, but what else? It's running a Termux. It's running 2 terminal sessions. One is connected to this. Yeah, this should be running in the background, but let's see how our other server is doing. Our HTTP server on the other cell phone. I'm trying to access line 2. See, so the server is working.
I'm actually putting double jump on that particular mushroom right there. Really? What even happened there? Did the pot cause some weird collision issue? I have questions.
I believe I still have the terminal open
Because the
somewhere here.
destroyables are not meant to be destroyed in the water. Like, I can never set that up. That's interesting. I haven't really built under the water here, so. Oh, yeah. One of the enemies, the rig could just blow up when you hit them like that. But I never accounted for them being RFG'd by the puppet master, which is now controlling everything. You can save so much time replacing enemies because I won't have to. It'll just be like pick the enemies, pick the encounter rate, and then put some rules in for how making spawn smarter, such as spawning on top of things at certain heights and stuff. Not directly on top of me. Really?
I have to just check. It's running. Yeah, it's running. You see it right there. But I wanted to open the terminal that was running it. It's like, what happened to it? Is it this one? Where is it? Got lost under all this garbage. There it is. Alright, so you see it's running. You see so now we're going to try and make Windows on this computer. So we see that it's running from this 45. It keeps changing IPs or something on us. So I guess the Stratus keeps changing IP addresses. There, so you see Android connected for 1.7. What is this though? Oh, I guess that was the scanners. Alright, so let's just do a quick subtest. Now we see we're going through this. Now we're going to compile our server.
We just need to do a little like mod here so we match our port. So this is Xeon server versus a Android new free phone server with free internet. One has the advantage of always being online, at least for a year for free. And the other one has the advantage of kernel panicking with being able to run super fast and having a GPU that's like semi-decent. Okay, enough with the whatever. Okay, so does it compile? Should compile. Hello from client. Okay, so that's my IP address, so we don't know where that went. So try to connect to it. Do we have this port open? Now that's the question. I may have to forward the port. I don't know if it's the Google. Okay, FWC server version IP 6017 8000 8080 vhost FR. Okay. Okay, so we're going to set this up for the server. So how you do that is you go into your firewall policies and VP, what was it? It was go down to VPC network firewall, which is not completely easy because usually you'd want to go to this and then go into, like, that's what you're naturally told to do. And to something else, like whatever, in here, because it's part of compute engine, but really you have to go into this, get into the firewall of the compute engine, and then what you do, once you get into the firewall policies, after you hit the word firewall, and then that confuses you, you hit create firewall policy, but you actually hit create firewall rule instead of policy. So this will be C8 meta server test UDP C server. Okay, it can't be underscores, it has to be hyphens or minus signs. Whoops. And it can't be uppercase. Alright. We add anything because the port changes, the IP address changes. Tags. And we have to I specify just all. Because that won't work. If you don't put that and you put some random tags in there, like your favorite social networking, like FPY or whatever,
That makes all the chances.
that won't work. Okay. I don't know if I need to have this one, but I'm just going to set it anyway. So we want the traffic to be UDP, and we'll put 8090, comma 8091, and comma 8092, and comma 8093. Yeah, let's just do that for now. And if we need more, I hit create. Alright, I think that was the issue. Sent message hello from UDP client. So once your main server has your ports open, let's see what it's listening to. Server listening on port 80. Let's run this again. 8090. Huh. Let's go into the folder. Does it take a minute for it to update? I don't remember.
38's fast enough, but 5% does not seem like 5% to me. I do think it's better that it has option on all of them now, because now it just gives you like a whole thing to play with.
We compiled their little mini test server. We'll run it. Okay, so we see that I'm not getting anything back. So we still probably have the firewall issue. Oops, we're not supposed to be opening it like that. Okay, where did it go? It went somewhere. C ingress, C8 meta server, IP ranges apply, off, hit counts, insights, UDP, 8090.
Test this room. Signature shape in the box. Lock out certain zones that are considered not okay.
Okay, that looks okay.
Check the wall against the. Whoa, what happened there? Something just
Enforcement enabled. What does that mean? Let's just go check the other one for a second. Enforcement and action on match. Yeah, enforcement enabled insights.
Dash Pass saves you money on DoorDash, so you can skip the trip to the
Alright,
grocery
let's
store.
try this.
So you really need saving. Your sanity. Save on grocery orders with Dash Pass by DoorDash. Your door to more savings.
This is my future.
Here they are, my crispy strips. Long, tender, juicy chicken made for dipping.
how this program doesn't allow you to do this.
Crispy strips. Now at McDonald's. Yeah, I'm just thinking about something. I got something to cheer you up, Jack. I go the other way. What's happening to me? In the dark, can you tell me what it means?
Should I break out of this real quick? Just run it again. Interesting why it doesn't work. Oh, for some reason that popped up. Whatever. It worked on the other server. Seems to be the port or something. It shouldn't need any kind of firewall settings. It's actually outbound. Oh, this is fun. I wonder what's wrong. Okay. Screw that up. Then we launch it. Will it work? Okay. I guess not. Maybe not tonight. Interesting why. It's all set up, but think I give up. This is not coding anymore. This is like crap. Well, this is like the most interesting thing of this. If I can solve this, solve some really weird problem. But I know that for sure we ran the web server. I just need to code some PHP and upload it to it and forward some reports so I can do SSH and some other things, FTP or whatever. Interesting. Okay. Just making sure the port is right. Everything else should be fine. 8090, yeah. It's not like I spelled socket diagram right. Very wrong. Oh, well. Try one more time and then I'm going to sleep. But I know it worked for the other thing. Is it because there's two terminals and they don't stack? You can't stack them. That might be the reason. Oh, well, I'll figure this out tomorrow, maybe. But I like seeing the limitations of what this can do, can't do. Okay, I'll try this tomorrow. But for TCP, it seems to work to the Android. For UDP, I don't know. It worked UDP to the other server, but I'm not going to do that today. I think. So I would need to set up some other more shit.